Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Mikel Arteta says Ben White is so happy in his new role this season. Arteta was talking to the press via Football London ahead of this evening trip to Wolverhampton. He delivered a positive injury update, stating that there is no new issues within the squad. Arteta was asked about some of his players heading to Qatar next week. In particular, he was asked about English defender Ben White, who returned to Gareth Southgate's squad just in time for his second major tournament. White didn't play a minute during last season's run to the European Championship final. In fact, he didn't even make the bench for the knockout stages. He was also left out of Southgate's last two squads, but has fought his way into the fold with some excellent performances. One factor that may have influenced the England manager is his shift to fullback this season, and Arteta admitted White is really enjoying playing at right back as he continues to become an excellent, versatile defender. Asked how happy White was to be playing out wide this season, Arteta said, "We discussed that every player needs some time to understand the reasons why. I think he is really enjoying it. It brings him other opportunities. Being a versatile player is something rare in this world, and I think he has the possibilities to fulfill that." The £120,000 a week Arsenal man on paper looks like a fantastic option for England. His versatility means he could play as a centre back in a back three or four-man defense. He could also play at right back for England, although playing as a wing back would be unfamiliar to White. White has been seen overlapping Bukayo Saka more and more in recent games, which could see him play it in a more advanced role. White appears to be enjoying playing at right back, especially as he's started every Premier League in that role. He has been impressing Arteta in training all season too, and that application of the pitch will serve him well with England too. Jack Wilshire raves about Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal hero Jack Wilshire has hailed Aaron Ramsdale for the way he has proved people wrong since signing for the Gunners last year. The 24-year-old was called up to the England squad by Gareth Southgate for the World Cup in Qatar, and Wilshire is adamant that he should be number one. However, irrespective of what happens there, the Arsenal under-18s coach is absolutely delighted with him. When news broke that Arsenal wanted to sign Ramsdale last year, almost every supporter was baffled. Many couldn't understand why Mikel Arteta was pushing so hard to bring in someone who had been relegated in each of the previous two campaigns. Ramsdale received a ton of hate on social media as negotiations over a transfer were taking place. It got so bad that he had to disable comments on Instagram and turn off notifications on Twitter. Things, however, completely changed once he started playing. Arsenal supporters fell in love with Ramsdale, and he has been a fan favourite since. Wilshire is absolutely delighted with that, he said on TalkSport. In the Arsenal team, he is so important to them because he starts the attack, he creates everything, but I am just so happy for him where he's gone because he went through hell when he first signed for Arsenal. Everyone was doubting him the 2 years before that he had two relegations that built something inside of you, that hunger and fight in you that you can't just give to someone, and he's got that. And he is a great lad as well, so whether he plays, I think he should play for England. Whether he plays or not, it will be great to have him around the group. Ramsdale really has been magnificent for Arsenal since he made his debut. He has saved the Gunners on numerous occasions with unbelievable saves, while his distribution is up there with some of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, if not the world. Ramsdale is currently behind both Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope in England's ranks. Wilshire sure believes he is the number one, but it's very unlikely he will get a chance at the World Cup. However, Ramsdale is still only 24, which means he still has plenty of time to cement a place in England's starting 11. Arsenal star Granit Xhaka explains why he is scoring more goals this season. Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka believes his experience from playing as a striker when he was younger has helped him score more goals this season. Xhaka has been one of the keys to an improved Gunners side this term and has already chipped in with 4 goals in 19 games across all competitions. To put that into context, the Swiss international scored only 14 goals in 250 matches in his first 6 seasons at the club. at an average of 2.33 strikes per season. During an exclusive interview with the Evening Standard, Xhaka explained the reason behind his hot scoring streak for Arsenal, saying, "I was born like a striker. No, really. Until I was 12 or 13, I was playing like a striker, and then they put me in midfield. Now you know that, so let's see how many people talk about it." The midfielder notably rose through the ranks at FC Basel before joining Borussia Mönchengladbach in 2012. He arrived at the Emirates 4 years later. Xhaka is also in Switzerland's squad for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. He notably led the team to a fairy tale quarter-final run at last summer's UEFA Euro 2020, helping them beat France in the last 16. Switzerland have been drawn alongside Brazil, Serbia and Cameroon in Group G of this year's World Cup. Granit Xhaka has stated that he knew what was on the horizon for his team. The midfielder said during the aforementioned interview, "I am not surprised because in pre-season I had a good feeling at how everything was working. The team spirit we built then was something I didn't have at this club until now. I knew this season could be a special one for everyone, for ourselves, for the club." Xhaka has gone from being a player few saw with a future at Arsenal to a leader. He is a key player, scoring goals as well as helping the midfield as normal. It seems then that Xhaka is confident in this group and that a title challenge could very much be on. Brazil boss thinks Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli has more qualities than Liverpool star Roberto Firmino, says journalist. Arsenal star Gabriel Martinelli was called up to Brazil's World Cup squad ahead of Liverpool star Roberto Firmino earlier this week, and journalist Gabriel Carneiro has explained why. Tite's squad looks really good. The likes of Neymar and Vinicius Jr. will make the headlines, but with Casemiro, Thiago Silva and Marquinhos all guarding the attacking players, Brazil are one of the favorites to go all the way in Qatar. There was always going to be room for just one of Martinelli, Firmino and Gabriel Barbosa. Many in Brazil expected that it would be the latter after his fine season with Flamengo. A few others felt Firmino's experience and good start to the new season will get him the nod. However, Tite decided to go with Martinelli instead, who has been absolutely sensational for Arsenal since the start of the campaign. Brazilian journalist Carneiro revealed that the Seleção manager felt Martinelli had more qualities than Firmino. He told UOL, "From what we have of information, the last decisions that Tite made for the list were to call Daniel Alves or a fifth defender. In this case, he chose Daniel Alves and either Gabriel Martinelli or Firmino. Tite ended up seeing more qualities in Gabriel Martinelli to make this call up. Gabigol is a player who had his opportunity. He had continuity, but he never really captivated the coaching staff. They always understood that other players did better in the roles he does. What we heard is that Tite fought to make Firmino fit in, but ended up preferring Martinelli. Both Martinelli and Firmino are tremendous players. The £6 million Arsenal man can play anywhere across the front three. He is absolutely rapid, works extremely hard for the team, and is a key member of the leaders of the Premier League. Firmino has contributed to more goals than Martinelli this season, but the Brazilian's style of play is completely different to the Arsenal number 11. The £29 million Liverpool star would have provided a different option for Tite, but he believed Martinelli was the better choice. That is disappointing for Firmino, but there is nothing he can do. As for Martinelli, he completely deserves it after a great start to the new season. Italian club urged to sign impressive Arsenal loanee. Charlie Patino has been one of Arsenal's finest products from their academy in recent times, and there is hope he will break into the first team. After a couple of cup appearances, the Gunners sent him out on loan to Blackpool this season so that he can get regular playing time. He is achieving that, and his performances are catching the eye of European clubs. He could be a wanted man at the end of this season, and an Italian transfer intermediary has already recommended him to a Serie A side. Michel Frattini reveals he has spoken about the youngster to Fiorentina. He said, as relied by Fiorentina News, "My name for Fiorentina is Charlie Patino. Born in 2003 with an English and Spanish passport, immense talent. He has played in the Arsenal under-23 team for a long time, a very strong player. It's a tip for the purchases I make for Fiorentina. The boy is already known. Now he is in the championship at Blackpool on loan, naturally left-footed. There was talk of Lo Celso, but Patino instead reminds me a bit of Nouri Sahin, former Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid player. His market value is around 4 million euros. Patino is a top player and he will eventually show he was what it takes to play for our senior team. However, that could take years as we focus on adding accomplished players to our squad. The youngster could leave for another club if regular chances do not come his way, but a move to Florence might not attract him. A report confirms Arsenal has tabled a bid for exciting winger Mykhaylo Mudryk. Arsenal's interest in Mykhaylo Mudryk is serious, and a new report confirms they have made an offer for him already. The youngster is arguably the most captivating Ukrainian player in Europe now and continues to thrive at Shakhtar Donetsk. Several clubs on the continent want to sign him, and Arsenal remains hopeful they will win the race for his signature. The winger has stunned clubs in the Champions League this term and showed he deserves to play for a bigger side. Mikel Arteta would love to bolster his squad in January to maintain their title challenge, and the 21-year-old could be one of his signings. The Gunners have several players on their list of targets, but a move for Mudryk is probably closer than others. A report on The Sun reveals they have already launched a £52.2 million bid for him, an amount which should get the Ukrainians interested in talking. In the coming days, there could be more developments regarding that, and we expect their bid to be successful. We were linked with the Ukrainian in the summer, but decided not to bid for him then because of his price tag, which has only increased subsequently because of his performances in the Champions League. Making an offer for Mudryk shows we mean business, and the winger will likely jump at the chance to join us, which means agreeing on personal terms will not be an issue. The Gunners already have an Ukrainian connection, having signed Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City in July. Big Leicester City star Youri Tielemans reportedly has an agreement to join Arsenal next summer. This season will be Youri Tielemans' last at Leicester City, and the midfielder's next club is set to be Arsenal. The Belgian international's contract expires at the King Power Stadium at the end of the current campaign, and he has shown no indication that he wants to sign a new deal. The 25-year-old was a subject of interest for Arsenal during the summer, and according to Belgian outlet Voetbal Premier, as relied by Mondo Deportivo, Tielemans will likely continue in the Premier League beyond this season, as he already has an agreement to join the Gunners ahead of next season. This will come as a great news for Arsenal fans, as the London club are in need of a new midfield star, and Tielemans will likely partner with Thomas Partey in the Gunners' double pivot during the 23-24 campaign. Barcelona and Man United are some of the other clubs that will miss out on Tielemans if the deal with Arsenal goes through, and it would also end the Belgians' 3 years spell at the King Power. The midfielder took his game up another level under the management of Brendan Rodgers and will leave the Foxes with an FA Cup medal in his locker. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.